Oh, hi, Tracy.
Hi, Dani. How are you?
Wonderful. How are you doing? It's a delight to see you again today.
It's fantastic. Great to see you too.
Hi, my name is Dani. I am novel effects librarian and curator, and this is my lovely colleague, Tracy.
Hi, I'm Tracy. I am a content engagement, and I'm super excited to be here with Dani to celebrate librarians. It has been Library Month all month long for Librarian Appreciation Month, and this week is all about celebrating libraries, librarians, and all the amazing things that they do.
Which is a lot of things. I think it's a lot
Hmm.
more things than most people would anticipate. I know when I used to work in libraries, I'd always have people come sidle up to the desk and be like, "Must be nice just to sit and read all day." And
Mm.
oh boy, the only thing I'm reading is emails, and that's maybe some words on library cards, but the work is a lot more than that. And we can talk about that a little more later. But yeah, Tracy is also a librarian. So she comes from a school library background, and I have a public library background, and together we are a dynamic duo. Can you name a better pairing? No.
No. So
um,
glad I get to spend the afternoon with you here.
yes, I'm always so glad when we get to do these live streams.
Hmm.
But yeah, today we are going to read a book we just put out on the app this last week. It is a classic. It is much beloved. I really like it. It's Lola at the Library. And I picked this book to go into the app because I think it's just one of the best books for Librarian Appreciation Month and Library Week.
So, Dani, did you ever read this book to children when they came to story time?
You know what? I can't remember. I probably did. This is a really great book
It
for
is.
the crowd that I was reading to. I was mostly working with pre-K kids, and this book is great for that age group. You could also bring it all the way up to I think like first grade, maybe even second. But yeah, I think this is a super sweet book that kind of introduces a child to like the experience. If they're a regular library user, they're going to point and be like, hey, I've done that. That's me. I see myself in that story. If they're not, you're going to show them, like, what is it like to go in a library? Because a lot of kids have never been in one.
No, and I loved reading it to my pre-K and kinders specifically for that reason. Because sometimes my library was the first one they've ever been in, and they didn't like everyone knows what art and music is. Like it says it right in the name. But to have that association with library and to have that visual with someone who looks like them is their age and like their size is just perfect. It's a perfect way to get them to help them understand.
Yes, this book, like, even the illustrations, like, this is a good one. It just gives you like a sense of like place and like that height. I mean, you see Lola here, she's not even the height of the check-in counter. Like
Hmm.
really helps connect a kid with
Yeah.
experience. And yeah, I think that's so great. We talked a lot about at the public library how important school libraries are for teaching etiquette, and not just library etiquette, but just etiquette in general. And those are lifelong skills. But that's only a small fraction of things that libraries do.
Yeah.
Um, there's so much that they do. Should I go ahead and read the book real quick, Tracy?
I was just going to ask you, are you going to read to us today?
I can. I could read real quick.
Because I love hearing you read.
So, funny story. I was going, you already know this, Tracy. I had put this on hold at my library under the
Oh,
impression
yes.
I'd be able to get it. But I guess everybody else had the same idea. And it's out. I live in a town with 13 library branches, and it's out everywhere. So I had to rush over to Barnes and Noble today to grab a copy, but that's okay. It's a great book. I'm glad to have it in the collection, but I was hoping to have
Yeah.
a library book version to share with you.
That would have been so funny and so cute. All right. I'm going to mute myself while you read.
All right. Lola at the library. Whoop. I think I need to restart the app. I think it went and I was talking too much. So if you're not familiar with Novel Effect, once you click the little print button, it's going to load. There we go. Lola at the library. Lola loves Tuesdays. On Tuesday, Lola and her mommy go to the library. The library opens at 9 o'clock, but Lola is ready to go long before that. She puts all the books she borrowed last week in her backpack. Her library card is also very important.
Oh, yeah.
The library is not very far away, so Lola and her mommy always walk there.
Hello.
Lola and her mommy give back the books from last week. The librarian buzzes them through the machine. There is a special section in the library just for children. It is really cool. Nobody ever says shh. Sometimes there is singing. Lola knows all the words and hands for Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. Sometimes there's a story time. Lola loves that. Are you ready to read? After story time, Lola chooses her books. In the library, she can have any book she wants. Lola likes stories with bears and anything with shoes. There's so many, it takes ages to choose. Mommy has some books too. She and Lola take them up to the desk. Lola must bring her books back in 2 weeks. But she will probably be back for more long before then.
Goodbye.
Lola and her mommy always get a snack after visiting the library. Mommy has a cappuccino and Lola has a juice. Whenever Lola has been good, her mommy lets her taste the foam.
Thank you.
Then it is time to go home again. Every night after Lola is tucked into bed, her mommy reads her a story. It is the best way to end the day. And that is Lola at the library. Oh, I love that one so much. The little girl's voice. Just
The little thank you. Oh my gosh. Thank you.
Oh, it's so cute.
Mhm.
I totally forgot. I am also in there. I'm the librarian that said, "Let's read a story," and
Ah.
I forgot about that.
Because I heard that and I was like, that doesn't sound like I went down the list and I was like, who is that? It's you rock star.
Yep.
Love. Um, you know, we were talking about this yesterday, right? About how what it's like to be a librarian. We talk about this a lot, actually.
Mhm.
What it's like to be a librarian and the things we love about it. And I think one of the things that you and I have in common is that we both worked with young children and when we were librarians, and there is such a joy to being with young children in the library and just the delight in their eyes when they get to read books and read books in their way and just find books, like the excitement when they find a book that has the thing that they're interested in, whether it's a truck or a train. It's pure joy.
Yes, it was the highlight of my entire work life was story time, working with the little guys. Like, especially if you have families that are like in the routine of going, you get to watch a child just blossom before your eyes and flourish. And you just get to see all their funny little interests and quirks and the way that they're just growing and becoming little people from the time that they're little bitty all the way to like high school. It's crazy.
Mhm.
And such
Mhm.
a treat, you know, is such a treat because you know, as an educator, if you're a teacher, you have a kid typically for a year and, you know, you might see them in passing after that. But as a librarian, you're in your place and they're always coming back to you. And even if they're gone for a bit, they're always coming back to you. That was the hardest part when we were shut down for COVID was having the kids be gone for a year or more and then seeing them and like all of a sudden, you know, they're like a whole different person. They're in a whole other stage of life. They're
Oh
speaking
my goodness.
now.
Mhm. Mhm.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. I think one of the things that just makes that book so fantastic is the way that it it sets expectations for
Mhm.
kids. And the thing that I like, this is what you can expect in the library. You can expect songs, you don't have to be quiet, like you don't have to be silent, you'll be singing and you can talk and you can be excited about the books. You'll be moving around and yeah, I think and it also shows them like what it looks like to sit and listen to a story. And the thing that I love about the soundscape is that it previews some of this what that looks and sounds like for them. So, you know, um, like the thank you is just being, just respectful and just so sweet. And but also when they hear the beep of the scanner, I don't know if you experience this, but the kids are always like, "What is that? Where is that coming from?"
Yes. We
Yeah.
I've worked at a couple different libraries and I did work at one that had the barcode scanner, the OG. Um,
Mhm.
and that was always fascinating. The most recent library I worked at had the check-in machines with the big rotating. What am I trying to say?
Oh no, I
Anyways,
don't know what.
you would slide the book in and it would magically just move through.
No way.
And, then it would be swept into a bin. They're so cool, and it was always fun because the bulk of the machine is hidden behind a staff door, and we would have kids, like, peeking up to look in the window and, like, watch the books travel through, and it was a big novelty, and, that's always really cool. We had self-check machines, and being able to stack your books up and hear the beep, 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 beep as they're all checking out, like, there's nothing like it.
No, there isn't. There
Mhm.
isn't, and it's so fun. Can I ask you a question?
Of course.
If you were to read that book, would you stop and have the kids do a little twinkle twinkle? Would you do a little twinkle twinkle with them?
Oh, you know it. You know I would. Yeah, I love that. Anytime there's a chance to sing a nursery song, count, talk about colors, I'm there. Let's do it together. I wanna see how
Mhm.
high you can count or how many colors you know or whatever.
I'm with you. I'm absolutely with you.
Yeah.
Um, you can tell in that story that that librarian is going to have a real like near and dear and sweet place in Lola's heart. And quick aside, I didn't realize because I was also looking for the book today in my local library. I didn't realize there was a whole Lola series.
Yeah. I haven't read any of the other ones, but they
Me
all look
either.
super cute, and I'm definitely gonna be looking into them to potentially add to that.
Yeah.
There are some really, really cute ones. There's one on here called Lola Reads to Leo, and it looks like she's reading to like her little brother, her
Oh,
cousin,
for
and like
yes.
there is nothing better than like encouraging kids to read to other kids. That builds, you know, literacy skills for both kids. But yeah, there are some really, really cute ones here, and I'm excited. The back of the book says they come in Spanish. Uh, so I'm looking forward. We're probably gonna get Lola goes to the library in Spanish in the app.
Awesome.
Lola biblioteca, some
I
words in
think so.
there. My high
Mhm.
school Spanish was bad. Um,
Mhm.
yeah, I think it's gonna be really great. Tracy, you said something earlier that really resonated with me. You mentioned, how in the story, it's a really good example for what to expect and what kind of behavior to expect. And one thing that you mentioned and is brought up in the book is that nobody's going to be shushing you, and it's
Mhm.
you have to be quiet. And I just have like a news flash for any of our viewers out there that maybe have been in the library for a while, or maybe just hop in and out to grab their holds or whatever. But libraries are not quiet places anymore. They have quiet places in them, but if you go to a library and you're anywhere near the children's section, please don't expect a mean old librarian like me to be out there being like, shh, because we want the kids in there playing and interacting. Libraries have toys in them now. They have
Mm.
computers and like computer activities for kids. They have so many things. We actually have a blog post up that kind of talks about
Yes.
the things that we offer in the library. Go check it out on our site. But that leads me to a question for you, Tracy. What
Mhm.
is one of your favorite kind of unexpected things you've ever seen in a library? Be it like public school or, even an academic library if you've been in one lately.
No, and one of my family friends is an academic librarian, and I actually should go visit her in her academic librarian, but I have not. Um, so I there are a few libraries locally that have maker spaces in them. Mine does not. My public library does not. But I went to a library where they had some 3D printers, and it was pretty cool. They had different types of 3D printers, and it was amazing. They were in the reference section, and what was even more amazing is that the librarians were able to help me like build and use it and understand the software. So it was just spectacular. Um, yeah, so those are some cool things that I've seen. Our local library has games that you can borrow. Obviously, like it has some toys and other things, but it has games for all ages,
Mhm.
not just for young children. So like family board games and things like that, which is I think spectacular. How
Yeah,
about you?
that's awesome. Uh, my library also has a board game collection, and it started while I was still there, and it's just been growing, and it's been so popular. People love the chance to try out a game or like grab a game for a weekend that they haven't tried before.
Mhm.
Grab an old classic. Um, Gosh, there's so many amazing things. One of my favorite is I worked at a library that did voter registration. Um,
Ooh,
yeah, they had staff members there that were trained. I was not, I left before I had the chance to, but I thought that was amazing. Really, really cool. Um, I have been in libraries that have libraries of things. So you can go borrow a sewing machine or a bike pump
that's
or a
nice.
telescope or whatever. Like, I think that's an amazing community resource. Um, there are libraries out there that have started giving out, like, Wi-Fi hotspots to check out.
Oh,
I've seen it, the wait lists are super long, but the library covers the fee for you, and you can get them for, like, a week or 2 weeks or a couple days. I think that's so cool, because that can be
yeah.
a limiting thing to people, and to have that availability for even a little while is really, really amazing.
No kidding. Um, Yeah, that just blew my mind. That's fantastic. What were some of the best programs or some fun programs that you saw in some of the libraries?
Okay, so not to toot my
Not to
own
brag.
horn, not to toot my own horn, but I did a slime program one time.
God bless you. I did that too. Never, ever again.
Was so much mess, but it was a hit. We had so much fun. Um, I love any bilingual story times,
Hmm.
sometimes that have multiple languages in them. We had a program at my library where people came in and either read a book or orally shared a story from their heritage, and then talk to their kids about, or talk to the kids that came about like their childhood and their experiences and the things from their culture. And that was so neat. Like even the littlest kids got a lot of joy out of that. There's one lady that did that program who was from India and did some like little Bollywood dancing with the kids.
Ooh.
They were so hyped about it. That was phenomenal. Let me think. Gosh, there have just been so many fantastic
Yeah,
ones.
there are so many, and I think that's one of like there year round there are regular story times and regular programs. I know in our local library those increase over the summer, the programs increase,
Mhm.
and then the outreach increases over the summer, even though the hours change because people are away and going being outside a little bit more. But they just do so much with even trying to keep kids reading
Mhm.
over the summer, which I think is just spectacular, connecting it to a lot of different summer reading programs and challenges and all of that great stuff. Like our kids in town get dog tags for
Mhm.
reading.
Yes, our library does that as well. Yeah.
Mm.
There's so many cool things. I a couple years ago, I saw a library do like kind of a like flash mob, but for reading, where everybody came to a park and it was quiet and everybody just sat in the park together reading. Like, is there anything more magical? Like as a kid, like I love to read by myself, I could be found anywhere, out on the
Mhm.
porch, up in my room in the like anywhere reading. And to do that in like kind of a community and see adults and other families and other people in the community doing that, like yeah, that's so cool. But that's a great segue into talking
Mm.
our summer reading program, which we can tease a little bit right here. Our summer reading program launches next month, and it is going to be a hoot and holler. You're going to enjoy it. Our theme is Books Bring Us Together, and we are going to have content for your child or the children in your life to keep them entertained and thrive, and they're not even going to be anywhere near that summer slide. There's not going to be a dip. It's going to be just a straight plateau for them because they're going to be reading with novel effect and using our activities. And yeah, you should hop on our website and check it out. We've got a bar up at the top that if you click on it, it'll take you and get you all set to be signed up for it.
Yeah.
Tracy, do you
It,
have anything to add to that? Tracy has been amazing about getting our summer reading program all set up.
it So I do, because you didn't mention we have a few surprises that we're not going to share too much, but we do have a few surprises that will happen during the summer months related to our summer reading program. So definitely stay tuned. I'm super excited about two things in particular at the end of the summer and then while kids are reading over the summer. So
Mhm.
yeah. One of the things that I love is the books that you selected are amazing. And they just really reconnect children to their environment, which, you know, yes, it's summer. Yes, it's nice out. It's nice to be outside. But one of the great things about the books that you chose for this summer's reading program is that it does get them thinking and reconnecting about their very local community and like the people around them, what's going on in their backyard, and then like, and also nature and the outdoors. And those books are going to spark some curiosity and some critical thinking and some empathy about their environment. And I think it's going to re-engage kids with the great outdoors in their local neighborhood.
Yeah. Even if they're a great indoors kid, they're gonna find
Oh
something
God, yeah.
in this. I promise.
Absolutely.
And
Mhm, mhm.
fantastic activities to go along
Yeah.
with it. This is going to be a really great, engaging program. They're going to be learning and they're not even going to know it. Like, it's
No.
great. So I highly encourage you to go check that out. Share the information. If you don't have your own kiddo, share it with someone who does have a kiddo. It's gonna be a hoot and a holler, as they say,
Yeah.
neck of the
On
woods.
Honestly, I used to teach summer school all the time, and I used to teach very integrated, holistic kind of approach to summer school. And I was also had multiple grade levels, so I would teach K through 5, K4, one room. And I absolutely, as a summer school teacher, would have taken the collections that you put together and the activities and have spent time with the children reading aloud and doing a lot of the activities that Catherine put together
Yeah.
because they're aligned with standards and
Well,
learning skills that they need to continue to grow.
I could not have put those books together without our amazing other part of our ed team, you and Catherine. Catherine is our educator on the team who builds all of our activities and make sure that they're up to curriculum standards across the country. And Tracy here is always willing to use her expertise to help me better build out our collection, make sure that it is really hitting those educational goals that we're looking for. And it's also fun and exciting, like it's not just about hitting the books. It's about entertainment and like wonder and like building a little bookworm, one book at a time.
One little book at a time. Have you ever thought about like librarians that made an impact on you, or the way that because we both became librarians. So something in our childhood drove us to that.
Yeah.
Either the people or the place itself.
I'm so glad you asked that because I was going to do a little shout out at the end of this. I was very fortunate. My mother especially made sure that we went to the library frequently, even though it hit her pocketbook quite a bit because I was the kind to get a lot of late fees. I still do all the time.
I have late fees right now.
I am grateful my library recently went fine free. Thank goodness, but also I'm sure I still have them somehow. But we went to the library a lot. My mother and my grandmother were both very avid library users. They thought it was a wonderful, use of our tax dollars. But I had fantastic librarians throughout my whole life, but one in particular I want to shout out is Gay Wilson, who works for the Springfield Greene County Library District. She might actually be retired now. Sorry, Gay, it's been a bit since we've connected. But she was my childhood librarian, and every time I went in, she talked to me like I was a person. And that sounds like so silly. Like, yeah, everybody talks to, but like, no, not when you're a kid. And she asked me questions and wanted to know my thoughts and opinions and stuff. And that's really meaningful for a kid. And I just admire her so much. She's an amazing human being. So shout out to Gay. Tracy, what about you? Do you have any librarians in your life that have impacted you?
Yes, and I don't remember them by name, but I can tell you when I was younger, I went to the library frequently. And I just know I was there a lot. Like my friends and I would go, and that is where we hung out, was at the library. And we would go there to do homework, but we would just sit there and talk. And then I would get lost in the stack. So this still happens to me. And I know you and I were just talking about this. Like I can't go to the bookstore and not get lost in the shelves. And I just remember it didn't matter if I was in the adult section of the library. I would just sit there and pull books off the shelf and just read in the library. Like, there nobody was there to tell me you can't read that. You should be in the children's section. They would just, oh, let me know if you need help finding anything, or let me know if you need help putting that back, or if you don't remember where it goes, just bring it over to me. And so I just remember being able to just sit there and get lost in books. among books. And that just brought me joy. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like heaven to me.
Mm-hmm.
Just to
It
be able
was.
to be around, you know, there is something to be said. I think books are kind of like pets. They kind of, they help lower our heart rate and make us feel warm and cozy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Well, on that note, it's almost been 30 minutes, Tracy.
Holy
I know
smokes.
we could talk for hours. We have talked for hours before. Yeah.
But you have we have a couple of posts on our blog about like great ways to utilize your local libraries, things that you can get from your libraries. And so I just wanted to shout that out again. And then the website in itself has an abundance of resources around, because it is almost summertime, helping your children and helping students maintain all that progress that they made this year, and just helping them maintain it, and like maybe even like surpass it because
Right.
they're reading over the summer. Yeah, that I have actually seen that happen as a teacher. So um so thank you for all that you do to make those beautiful things happen on our website.
Stop it, Tracy. Tracy has a blog post coming out soon that's going to be talking about different ways to get books over the summer for your kid. If your kid's school library is closed, Tracy has a wonderful list of resources, ways that you can get books in kids' hands for low, no cost, a variety of ways. So
It's up there. It's already on there.
it's already on there? Okay, it's
Yeah.
already on the blog. Go check it out.
And that was a collaboration. So like
But Tracy did the heavy lifting. Don't sell yourself.
come
Um,
on.
yeah, but yeah, so go check out our summer reading program. Go look at our blog for even more amazing resources. Check out our activities. Hit up our social media pages to stay up with what we're doing. We have webinars and other live stream events like this all the time. And finally, I just wanted to say, it's National Library Appreciation Month. It's National Library Week. Big shout out to librarians and library workers.
Yeah.
Across the spectrum, public schools, public libraries, academic archives, wherever you work, you are making a huge impact on our society and on the people in it. And we here at Novel Effects see you, and we recognize the work you're doing, and know that, these times might not be the easiest to work in a library, but y'all are chugging along and making a wonderful impact. And Novel Effect loves you, and we're here to support you. So happy National Library Week again. And yeah, check out all of our resources.
Thank you for all you do. Hope you guys have a great week.